the whole game? Yeah, okay. Look, coming off the bye was a challenge because everyone had been talking about it. So we challenged the group from the moment they got back, sort of mentally and physically, to really right from the Monday. And we thought we had a really good week in preparation. The Kangaroos, I thought, a team that won 4 in a row, and they dropped a few of their kids, like Atley and Harper, and brought back some real experience in McMahon, Hanson, Pratt. So it was certainly a strong signal of intent. And as actually in your article, Roger, the sort of how they wanted to sculpt a big team, and they still saw us as that. And also, which a few teams have been doing, the double teaming of Rui and rotating. So it actually sent some really good signals to us, which we're sort of aware of, but it just sort of helped a little bit with the mindset. And then we sort of planned for those things, and we knew, Harvey and Wells in particular and Petrie were their 3 dominant players. If we were to be in the game, we'd have to control them. So that we did a couple of things. We rested Revolt more than we do normally. I thought we handled Wells, Harvey and Petrie pretty well as a whole team to give us a chance. And I thought our contested ball and our spread and attack in the first half was really dominant. And then at half-time we knew that would come for all the reasons I just spoke about. And then I thought in the third quarter we were still dominant entries. I think it was still 15-7 or something, I think. But they scored a little bit easier, and we didn't really score as well as we would have liked. So then it was still a game in the last quarter, and we probably tightened up a little bit, and there was a little bit of fatigue in the last quarter. But I thought we really fought on, and as much as it looks like we didn't score and the entries were dominant, I still thought we had 3 or 4 opportunities to have a shot on goal that we either passed off or handball off and slaughtered, which was, I think, McAvoy twice, Armitage, and I think there was one other, I can't remember. And then at the other end, I thought we slaughtered the ball a bit on the way out. Their pressure was good, but a few times we just kicked it back to them. I think we had 6 turnovers in the last quarter in our D50, which is, to put it in context for you, which most of you would be aware of, it's a game's worth. So if you're doing that a game's worth, and some teams who don't apply great forward pressure, which has been us, it would take us 2 games to get that. So it sort of gave you a context of how we slaughtered it and how their pressure ramped up. And in the end, it was a bit of a struggle, but I'm really proud of our players' efforts. And I thought, in particular, young McAvoy is really growing week by week against, I think, who's an emerging star in Goldstein. And I thought our use, their double teaming Ariwa was more ineffectual because our ball use was of a higher standard and quality. And I think that sums up the match pretty well. Excuse my confidence.
Yeah. 4 points separating 8th and 13th. How do you think you placed for a tilt at playing final?
Well, look, all football clubs need hope, and because otherwise you really, from there, if once finals are mathematically out of the equation, then it becomes trying to prove you're part of the solution and not the problem. So by a quirk of events in front of us and the nature of the season, and as we started today, every team in the 8 had played 14 games and we'd played 12. So in reality, before the start of today's, we were 2 games in hand and basically 6 points behind or something like that, or 8. So the reality is, if we can win and keep winning, well, we're a chance, as are the Western Bulldogs and a couple of other teams. So, we spoke about, there's an opportunity to improve, and there's also an opportunity, you should believe, if you're good enough, and that's yet to be proven over another 9 games. So, it helps fuel the energy and the emotion of the team. So that's certainly, I think that was evident in how we played today.
Do you think they're getting a bit of that belief back?
Yeah, well, I think belief or confidence comes from action. So I think if you look at our last 6, we've won 4 out of our last 6, and we've been, I don't know about honourable, but we've certainly been in the game very much so against Geelong. But again, our Achilles heel was skill level and consistency hurt us, and then, even Collingwood, even though they were more dominant, we were sort of really in, particularly at half-time, and, in a strange way, it was, with 20 minutes to go, it was 18 points against Collingwood. So if you look at a batch of 6 rounds, it's been a lot better football.
It was 10 goals first half, 2 goals second half. Was that Was there a little bit of change of strategy in the second half?
No, as I said, I think what we kicking in the third quarter 3-2-3 or something, did we? Was it? I don't know. I haven't got it. 2, but I think there was a few behinds in that. We had 15 entries, so they clearly defended a bit better. I think it was 15-7. So you wouldn't say we put the cue in the rack and didn't go forward. Like 15, that gives you 60. That's a pretty dominant game, isn't it? To 7, that's 60-28. So, but the last quarter went the other way, and as I said, we had shots to take, and we just passed them off and butchered them. So. And I think there's no doubt of fatigue off the bye, you know. And I think credit to North Melbourne, they're an emerging team, you know. They've invested a lot over 3 years in some real quality young midfielders. Like, there's a lot to like about Zeeble and Bastanak and Greenwood, and you know, and they've got some stars in Harvey and Wells and Petrie, and you know, so and Goldstein. So there's a lot to like about the Kangaroos. And they're not the team, they're a lot better team than they were. And I think if you look at them, they lost 3 games or 4 games under a kick. So they're a pretty good team, you know, and a massive challenge. So I thought it was a really good performance by us, you know, that we should take something out of. How much is yet to be determined, you know. And the graveyard shift's always a beauty, isn't it?
Were you holding your breath when Nick had that shot at the start of the second that given his first couple of kicks in the first term?
To be honest, I didn't even see it because there's that many rotations and looking back and getting structured. Look, you're talking about Nick Delceno or Nick Rewald?
No, Nick Rewald. I'm saying that, you know, he had kicked a couple of shots in the first term.
Yeah. Look.
But it seemed like it really gained confidence after.
Well, I think if you strip it back, the psychologists tell me confidence comes from action. So if he has a good action where he kicks one, his confidence is going to grow. And it does work the other way. We know that, you know. So even Baker Finch, he's a beauty for it, isn't he? So, you know, and that, as a team and as an individual, we can execute good actions. You're going to build in confidence, you know. So people talk about wins, but it's not the wins. It's knowing that your actions are the right one and you're working together as a team. And that's where confidence really builds and momentum. Thanks, guys.